Dr. Kirti Kaura, consultant at Mother and Child Care Clinic Bhilai, Powerhouse. Dr. Himani Punchi, consultant OBGY UCSC Gudiari, Dr. Himani's Women's Clinic. It's now my pleasure to invite an eminent clinician, an inspiring teacher, and a passionate advocate for women's health to share their valuable insights. Dr. Asha Jain, ma'am. We welcome you, ma'am.
Hello. This is my proud privilege to chair a session where there is a talk by Dr. Asha Jain, madam, and she is the director, SMSA Hospital, Raipur, and she is the president, Raipur Menopause Society, general secretary, CGSFM, medical director, Cancer Prevention and Relief Society, elected member, governing council member, and chairperson, Foxy Food and Drug Committee. Important positions and achievements.
मैम बस इन लोग जानते हैं मुझे.
ओके सर्टिफिकेट क्रो मैं जान जाऊं मैम. सर्टिफिकेट.
डियर फ्रेंड्स, आप मेरा टाइम 15 मिनट कर दो पहले तो.
ओके मैम, यू कैन प्रोसीड विद योर टॉक.
Requesting everyone, please have a seat. So my topic today is Tdap vaccination during pregnancy. What is that topic doing in a menopause conference? It is funding us. Okay? So we all have to listen. There's no option. And what does Tdap do? Even perimenopausal women, we take midlife as 35 plus. And today, most of the women who are getting pregnant are at least 50% are above 35 in the urban areas. Villages, yes, they are still young, but in the urban areas, even doctors, it's 35 plus are getting pregnant. So it is relevant to us as well. I want to ask the House, is pertussis a significant threat to public health for pregnant women and for children? Is it a risk?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
It is a risk. Have any of you seen pertussis? Sandhya ma'am has seen. Anyone else? So that is the most critical line, that many infants get admitted with pneumonitis within 2 months of life and they are presumed pertussis. They are not pertussis per se because we don't have the complete diagnosis. The incidence of pertussis has decreased. Can you see the number that was in 1980, 1990? And it has come down exponentially now to 4949 cases per year. So, but that is still a very big number. 5,000 infants getting pertussis for a preventable disease, very like our cervical cancer, that it is preventable and not prevented. So we are here to try to prevent it. If an infant who is less than 2 months of age gets pertussis, then 90% of them will require hospitalization and 76% of pertussis related deaths will occur in such infants. So it is a disease with a lot of trauma to the family and to the mother and obviously to the baby as well. So what is Indian data? The Indian data is telling us that there were 1102 infants who were hospitalized with acute respiratory infection and they had a clinical symptom like pertussis in 400. Nasopharyngeal swabs were collected, RT-PCR was done, and they had confirmed pertussis in 34 out of 400, whereas pertussis-like was seen in 400. Total pertussis was 46 in 400. Basically, what it says is that even if the infant has pertussis, if it is past 7 days when the sample is taken, the test turns out negative. That is why you even get pneumonia and you don't get the test positive. So that is a major thing. There are different case profiles, different children, a 2-month-old, full term, not vaccinated for pertussis, presenting with cough, paroxysmal episodes, and post-tussive vomiting. This is diagnostic where the baby coughs and vomits, and then needed hospitalization, luckily responded and got well. There's another baby. Obviously, here what they are showing is success stories, those who have survived. But we know that 76% will not survive. So, what do we actually do about it? What are the risk factors that we can control? We have to control, Madam has seen pertussis. My own grandson at 1 month of age was hospitalized with pneumonitis. We had to give him injections at that age for 5 days. So when that happens in the family, it is horrible. So, and if somebody is not getting better, it's fulminant pertussis, then it is even a worse story for the mother and the family. So what can we do about it? We can immunize the mother. What happens is that if the mother is immunized, here you can see if you are vaccinated and if you are not vaccinated, seropositivity is very high. 51 out of 94 in vaccinated and only 24 in the unvaccinated. In the infants, it is the same story. In the infants, the IgG levels are even higher than the levels in the mother. So it is actively transmitted via the placenta to the fetus. Therefore, the vaccination has a very, very, very positive effect. So what can we do? What are the strategies? One is vaccinate the whole community. Is that doable? How many elders here have taken Tdap vaccine? You are supposed to take it once in 5 years. Because the kids that get the disease, the elderly also get the same disease. So whether it is varicella, whether it is zoster or Tdap, has anyone taken it? No, then it is a reminder that you need to take it once in 5 years. So Tdap is one vaccine. Is it feasible to vaccinate the whole community? 100% people? No. Practically not possible. Number 2 is cocooning. There's a young baby and a cocoon covers from all sides. So you vaccinate the mother, you vaccinate the dada dadi, you vaccinate the people who are coming to see the child, you also vaccinate the dai who is doing the malish, and you vaccinate everyone who's touching that child. Cocooning. And the third is to give the maternal vaccination that will transfer the antibodies to the baby. What do you think works best? At least maternal. And if once we are able to do 100% maternal, then we can think about cocooning. What is the recommendation? Whether it is FOXI or ACOG or Indian Association of Pediatrics, everyone has recommended that the vaccination of Tdap should be given between 27 to 36 weeks of pregnancy, means in the 3rd trimester, as early as possible. As early as possible, because it takes at least 2 weeks for antibodies to form and then to be transferred to the fetus. So if the baby is going to have a preterm delivery, we can't predict 100%. So it will still be immunized. Even if 3 doses of TT have been given, still you need to give Tdap. If it has been given in the last pregnancy, still you need to give it. Even if it is within 2 years or 1 year, it still has to be given. So this is one vaccine that is given in every pregnancy at between 27 to 36 weeks. I give it to my patients with influenza at 28 weeks. Position paper also recommends giving this at 27 to 28 weeks. What is our role? Our role is, do you think we obstetricians have a role in this? Yes, because we are the one who are vaccinating. And one thing I want to ask you, when you used to write TT vaccine, tetanus toxoid, or when you were writing Tdap, were you explaining to the patient कि वो वैक्सीन कहाँ जाती है, क्या करती है, कैसे काम करती है? हर वैक्सीन को एक्सप्लेन करते हैं?
मैम टिटवैक तो सबको पता ही था पेशेंट्स को.
Ma'am, that is what we assume. The thing is, we are not explaining.
नहीं, बट ये तो करना पड़ता है सर मैम, बिकॉज इट्स सो एक्सपेंसिव. दे स्टार्ट आस्किंग कि इतना क्यों लग रहा है मुझे. लाइक फॉर इन्फ्लुएंजा आल्सो दे आस्क अस. So we
Ma'am,
need to
what
tell
I
them.
have found is that if you write it on your paper, I have a schedule sheet. So I stick it to the patient's antenatal record. कि इस time ये due है. Patients will read about it, they'll think about it. Then if they have questions, means 1 out of 10 will come and ask you questions. 9 चुपचाप लगवा लेते हैं. If you forget, they'll remind you, ma'am, उसमें एक टीका लिखा था, वो आपने लगाया नहीं. So what we can do as obstetricians is basically write it. If you write it, there will be compliance. 9 out of 10 will agree. Right now, 1 out of 10 is actually getting the vaccine. That ratio can be reversed by us agreeing to write it on the paper. Maternal immunization mimics natural protection offered by the mother to her baby, and the baby gets passive immunity. In the first 2 months of life, the baby is exposed to infections if the mother is not vaccinated. And I said 90% of such babies will get hospitalized, 76% will die. So we can do a great job by actually immunizing them. Is there real world data? Yes, there is. This is a study done in UK. It's a retrospective study for 3 years, October 12 to September 15. Study group, it's a small group. In India, the numbers we get nowhere else in the world. So 71 infants were below 3 months of age. The vaccine was given. 15 cases. There is a combined vaccine, Boostrix polio, which is used over there. Here we have plain Boostrix and we have plain polio. There they have used Boostrix polio. Vaccine coverage was 69.3%. And antibodies were seen successfully. Vaccine effectiveness against pertussis for infants below 3 months of age was 88%. Is that good or is it that bad? 88% efficacy, is that good or is that bad? It's okay. Means it's obviously better than nothing. It is effective. Then as another study from Spain to estimate vaccine effectiveness in protecting newborns against lab-confirmed pertussis. So this is 2015 to 16, only 22 cases with 66 controls. And since January 2015, they have recommended it permanently in their design. And the vaccine effectiveness in this study was 19.9%. What is the safety profile? I have been using it since it was introduced. I have not found a single side effect except pain. It is given in the deltoid and it is painful. So vaccination to the mothers has a very, very good safety profile. Many studies were done. What about the safety? Safety is 2 aspects. Whether the baby is getting the infection or the mother, is she getting preterm labor? Is she having any preeclampsia because of the vaccine? So there was no difference in controls and the vaccinated groups regarding these factors. So basically, except protecting the baby, it has no other side effect. So, what are the takeaways? The takeaways are that 90% of infants under 2 months of age with pertussis require hospitalization. 75% or more of pertussis related deaths occur under 2 months of age. Mothers are the most common source of infection. Maternal vaccination results in efficient transplacental transfer of pertussis antibodies and high seropositivity in infants, and it is extremely effective. It is very, very safe and effective. And though it is not there in the slide, I would say that everyone should continue taking it once in 5 years, even if you are not pregnant or anything, especially perimenopause and menopause, where the immunity starts declining. It is best to protect ourselves. Thank you. किसने घंटी बजाई? Now, Foxy has made a. This is the Foxy position paper on vaccination in pregnant Indian women. So, this will be distributed. This is the Foxy position paper, and मुझे 4 कॉपी दे दीजिए.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the Foxy position statement and a great lecture. Sites and with all the evidences. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful. Now we'll move forward for next talk, next session. And thank you for saving our time. Thank you.
Moving on to the next.
So it's a double bonanza for us to give TDAP because one, it is going to protect the baby and she is coming to the antenatal clinic we are giving, but it's also protecting her for the next 5 years so that the adult vaccination also is taking place in an indirect